Welcome in. The Big Boys League, BBL Sports, episode 42. Very special guests on this week. You guys will meet them in a sec. You can't see green screen. I got a Modelo. Lions, Cowboys, college football playoffs talk, Lane Kiffin talk, a little sports trivia from SEC Tie, Rebel at Tie. Should be a good one. Cheers, fellas. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome in episode 42 of BBL Sports. We've got a couple very special guests on tonight. As always, it's me and Rebelette, Ty. And we got a couple special guests. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So real quick, take it over. Let us know, what's your name? Who are you guys? Where are you from? And where do your sport allegiances lie? Tyler, we'll start with you.
All right, guys, what's going on? It's good to be here. My name's Tyler. I'm from Johns Creek, Georgia. It's a little bit outside of Atlanta. And, yeah, went to Ole Miss with Ty. So, you know, got the Ole Miss connection there. And my sports allegiances, they're a little bit all over the place. But, you know, I'm a Braves fan, got the Atlanta connection there. And then, as you can tell, the Cowboys fandom grew up as a Cowboys fan. My dad was a big Cowboys guy. I mean, still is, and so just kind of had him on at the house, and just became a fan. Unfortunately, but you know, I'm still ride or die. I'm still ride or die for the guys, but it's been tough as a fan. But you know, I'll let Connor talk.
What's going on? Long-time listener, first-time guest, and from Plano, Texas, which is just north of Dallas. And unfortunately, my allegiance lies with every single Dallas team. Cowboys.
Oh, my God!
Cowboys, Stars. Well, the Stars, best team in the Metroplex. Rangers, Mavericks, FC Dallas. You got to throw some soccer in there. But
sure.
Happy to be here and excited to get this going.
And to confirm, I'm on the pod with 3 Ole Miss Rebels tonight, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna get into Lane news. We're gonna get into college football playoff
Connor will
talk,
put that helmet on behind him by the end of the show. That helmet will go on his head.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah, show him the background, Connor. Show him the setup right
Show him
there.
the shelf.
Yeah,
Wow, look at that.
Newly installed Walmart shelf. Very, very pricey.
Looks very good.
Got the Jackson Dart signed.
The powder.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it will not go on. There it is.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's got the...
Oh, man.
That's
good
good
enough. That's good enough.
There we go. All right. Well, appreciate you guys coming on. And yeah, shout out Rebel at Ty. Got us connected with these guys. We're going to break down Lions Cowboys a little later in the show. Where we're going to start, we're going to kick the show off with a little sports trivia like we've been doing the last few weeks. And Ty, I believe you've got a couple trivia questions for me before we get into college football playoff talk. So,
Adam, I got your weekly question. We'll start with that. You are 1-1 so far in this new segment of ours. Okay, week 3, and Connor and Tyler, you guys can think about it. Just don't take this answer. If he doesn't know, then you guys can chime in. But Adam, your question specifically. The 2015 college football playoff consisted of Clemson, Alabama, Michigan State, and which other team?
Clemson, Alabama, Michigan State, Ohio State. Clemson drummed them.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Wrong.
I think I know it.
Tyler, over to you.
Okay, has anyone said it? I think I know it.
He just submitted his answer. He's wrong.
I was so confident. I was thinking 2016.
So I can answer.
Go
ahead.
Give me the other 3 first.
Was it Washington?
Clemson, Alabama, Michigan State.
It was Washington.
Was it Washington?
Damn.
Jake Browning.
No.
No?
No.
Oregon?
Nope.
Well, Alabama and Clemson. I like the Ohio State guess.
I was thinking 2016. Ohio State got killed by by Clemson that year. So
Dude, this is not a good start for us.
No, this is a rough start. This is we're
Hold
all.
on.
Yeah,
It is the Oklahoma
brutal.
Sooners.
No, I think
Wow.
I'm not wrong. I'm looking at it right now.
I think you're wrong. Can I look this up?
Was that
2015
Baker or
semifinals.
Tyler?
Clemson defeated Oklahoma.
It's Baker.
Alabama
isn't
defeated
it?
Michigan State.
Tyler, you have a Baker Mayfield
I gotta
Oklahoma
know
jersey.
that. I know. I gotta know that. I gotta know that. Wow.
Rough start. I was so confident in Ohio State. Like, before you finish your question, I'm like, oh, that's the easiest question of all time, Ohio State. All right,
Yeah.
let's move on. Let's get a couple wins here to end it. Let's move on.
Okay, so this question is just for McVay and Connor. You guys can work together here on this one, okay?
Okay.
Since Tony Romo, the Cowboys have had 6 different starting quarterbacks for at least one game.
Yeah.
Can you name all of them?
You want?
So we'll start
You
with
guys
Dak.
can talk amongst each other. You
I
can
don't know.
fire them off.
We'll start with Dak.
Cooper Rush.
Yep.
Cooper Rush.
Yep.
Andy Dalton.
Yep.
Hang on.
Trey Lance.
Ben DiNucci.
Yep. One more.
I like Trey
Toughest
Lance.
one.
Is Trey Lance one?
Yes,
Yeah.
you got one more.
That's 5. And you said the last one's the toughest one?
Yeah, for sure.
Brandon Whedon.
No.
No.
2020.
Dude,
2020 season.
I
Matt
just saw
Castle.
this.
No, you guys had 3 quarterbacks that year that started. It was Andy Dalton, Ben DiNucci, and this guy. So it was a bad. You guys are all over the place this year. He started one game.
What?
It's a weird one. I didn't even know this guy was real until I looked this question up.
Giovanni Plunk.
Is it crazy to just
No,
say
not
Jake
Gio.
Browning?
I've never heard this
Who's
guy's
Jake
name.
Browning?
Oh, you've never heard his name.
No, I
Whoa.
never knew this guy. I had to double check this from ChatGPT. I had to take it to Google and confirm this
Dude.
guy exists.
I thought Ben DiNucci would be the one where we got it and we
No.
were like, all right, we can get the rest.
I would have been really proud. I was gonna say, can you get 5 of the 6? But I wanted to
Can
see
we
if you
get
got
like
all
college?
6. Oh god, I will look that up real quick. That's not gonna help. There's no way he
Do
actually
you
went
do
to
hints
school.
here?
But it
Oh,
was
God.
COVID season. It was
You want
2020.
his
you
first
said,
name? I don't think
COVID
his first
season.
name is even gonna help you. I'll give you his first name. His first
Wow.
name is Garrett.
Gilbert.
Dude, that doesn't.
Garrett Gilbert. Yeah, you're right.
Wow.
Good pull.
Wow.
All right.
I should have known that.
That's I didn't know that.
Okay, this one I think you guys can get. I think this one you guys can get. This is all 3 of you now. I just need someone to give me an
Okay.
answer here.
Okay.
Who was the first freshman quarterback to start and win a college football playoff national championship game?
Trevor Lawrence.
No. CB, you got anything? It's not Trevor Lawrence.
Dude.
Oh, wait.
You can fire. Well, let's give CB a break if you want to.
A freshman to start and win the Natty?
Yeah.
Shit.
I have a hint that probably will narrow it down. That'll help you guys out. This guy did not start the
Oh,
season.
no, he didn't start.
He came in.
What?
Oh,
Eventually. He didn't start this season.
Tua?
Like he
Tua?
Yeah, Tua.
Tua didn't
came in for
start the
Jalen Hurts.
game.
Tua didn't
Yeah,
start.
Tua did start that game.
He didn't start.
Yeah.
He did not start that game.
Jalen Hurts started that
Anyone
game.
hurt started.
Yeah.
And then Tua
He
came
was
in
at
at halftime.
halftime.
I thought that was the summer.
Boo!
Bad host. That's from ChatGPT. It says start.
Oh, you know what? That's still a good question. It could still just be freshman quarterback to win.
Yeah.
I thought he came in the semifinal.
So technically
You're
we
right.
were right on Trevor
Yes.
Lawrence being the first to start and win. So technically we were right, Tyler. But
Yeah,
no,
we
that's a
were,
good question.
'cause that was the year after.
What a
we-
terrible start. That's on me, guys.
Yeah.
God. I had those races
Technically, we were
yesterday,
right,
dude.
dude. And when I said Trevor Lawrence, I was like, I feel like I've heard that one before, but
I was so confident in that. But that's funny. Yeah,
Technically.
because Trevor Lawrence was the next year. So all right,
Yep.
no, those are
Yeah,
good questions.
ChatGPT making things up because I had another
I do
question
like
that I
that.
realized was wrong as I read it. But
Well, it's
the
okay.
other question I,
I mean,
had,
that-
which isn't correct, which I know the answer. You guys, I'm not gonna like. The other question was, which college football playoff semifinal has produced the largest margin of victory in college football playoff history?
oh,
The answer they gave me is wrong, but I know the real answer.
TCU.
Yes, semifinal. What was it?
No, that was the
TCU
final.
Semifinal.
That was the final.
Yeah, semi.
Oh,
Probably
LSU.
Clemson-
LSU,
Oh,
Oklahoma.
yeah, Clemson, LSU.
Was it? Because they
It was
gave me the answer of Georgia over Michigan, but that's not right. It was 23 points. But Ohio State
LSU,
beat,
Oklahoma.
well, because Bama beat Michigan State 38-0, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but LSU dropped like 70
I don't know.
in that
ChatGPT
semifinal. I just don't know what Oklahoma scored.
Wow.
Okay.
ChatGPT just
Jefferson
made me
had
look like
4
an idiot.
touchdowns
Yeah.
that game. All
Shout
right,
out
well, hey,
ChatGPT.
that's,
No,
I still like
bad
this
segment
question.
on me.
I
Harvey,
like
you moved to 1-2 though in your season long race here.
I know.
So-
I should have taken more time to think about it. I went way too fast with my
it's all right.
Ohio State guess. But all right, that's fine. Let's stay on college football topic. Let's move in. We got some things to talk about.
Let's go.
All right, I'm going to 30 seconds give my take on Lane Kiffin. I know I'm not in your guys' shoes, and so I'm going to take just a little bit of time to give my take, and then I want the three of you to give your take on the Lane Kiffin situation. I've said it the last month on this podcast how I thought the dumbest decision he could have made is leaving Ole Miss, and I stand by it. I think what a mess of an exit. If I were you guys, I would be livid. I think you should be livid. And just how funny is it that his reasoning for going to LSU is because he thinks it's his best chance to win a national championship. Buddy, you're 3 games away from a national championship right now. I don't think it works. I think he's out in 3 to 4 seasons. I think he found magic at Ole Miss. I think Lane Kiffin's a good coach, but like, let's be real and go through the history of him being a head coach. He's never won a conference championship. He's never made the college football playoff. I'm not giving him this year because he's not going to coach him in the college football playoff. I think it was a stupid decision that he will regret for a very long time. But I want to hear the Ole Miss Rebels talk about it. Where do we stand with Lane Kiffin? Is he ever welcome back in Oxford?
Can you pick someone to talk? There's 3 of us that want to go.
Ty, lead us
off. Kind of, there always was a sense that he was always going to leave, right? Like eventually, whether it was a Bama job or what, we always figured at some point he was going to leave.
Yep.
He could not have done it worse than how he did it. It's not that he left that I hate him. It sucks, but he, at the end, tried to literally burn Oxford to the ground behind him as he was leaving. Threatening our AD, trying to take everyone, threatening all this stuff. Threw a tantrum, tried to burn everything to the ground. Total disaster. And the whole process going up to it was just drama queen, which is what Lane is drama, but it's the way that he left that really makes me mad and I wish the worst for him. But he always thought he was going to leave, and now he tried to just sabotage everything that Oxford is, and like that, because he didn't get his way once. So that's all I got. I mean, it's immature. He tried to burn everything, and I hope it bites him in the ass, and he fails. I hope he regrets it forever.
Tyler,
yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think you hit it right on the head with the timing. Just the timing. I think we knew going in, like getting into it, having Lane Kiffin as our coach, it was like you can look at his track record. I mean, he left. Just look at Tennessee. I mean, yeah, like he got told to leave Alabama. He's just had messy breakups with teams. It's always been messy. So you knew it was going to be. And you also knew that, as a realistic Ole Miss fan, even getting into it, now we're great. Now we're, a place that I think that guys want to go and that can be on the national stage. But at the time, it was like, all right, let's get Lane Kiffin in and see what happens. And so you expected him to leave at some point. Doing it the way he has done it has been really frustrating. But I also think, looking at it now, the quick hire of Pete Golding and then the quick turnaround has been awesome to see. And also I kind of getting into more of I'm sure we'll get into it more, but the Twitter presence of all this, but him coming out and saying all the things he said, that then the players come back and be like, well, this isn't exactly how it went. And that fires me up, that the players are publicly coming out there and being so vocal and saying, hey, this is wrong. You're trying to look like the victim, whatever it may be. I think it's only going to fuel the fire. And who knows what happens in the next few weeks, and who knows what happens this weekend if we stay in the 6th spot, or if Alabama wins, whatever. I'm sure we'll get into that, but I'm excited about the next few weeks and the next few games, possibly, even with him leaving. Obviously frustrated, upset, but it gets a chip on the guy's shoulders, and hopefully it doesn't completely terrorize Ole Miss football from here on out. I don't think it will, but I guess we'll see.
Connor.
Yeah, I'm right on board with Tyler. I think the fire that's going to be lit under the team is going to be just unbelievable. I think Golding is the perfect guy to do it. But if we want to talk more about the Lane aspect of him as a person, I can see what he's doing. I'm going to sympathize with him for 1 second. If you are one of the biggest coaching commodities in the country and you get the contract, the NIL budget, everything you want, granted, if we matched it or not, and you make your decision to leave, why wouldn't you try to take the guys that helped you get to where LSU wants you and the players as well? My first example would be Lacey. If I'm not mistaken, he came from LSU. So out of high school, he clearly liked LSU, clearly wanted to go there, and left because of the football product not being there. Now Lane Kiffin's going. The football product is going to be there. So Lacey's probably the first one out the door if, Jeremiah Love or someone doesn't go over there. But, I can understand what he was doing, but at the same time, he ruined my snow globe town. Ruined it. And I wish we all would have listened to the Mannings years ago.
That's
well
fair.
said.
No, and
that's well said, Connor.
Very mature. Yeah, very mature out of Connor. I would not be that way if I was a diehard Ole Miss Rebel fan, not going to lie. And again, I'm the outsider here. I like Ole Miss, support Ole Miss because of Rebelette. And I watch from the outside, and I've just said this for such a long time. I just don't understand it. You go to LSU, and there's so much pressure on you. And if you go 9-3 is not going to fly in Baton Rouge. 10-2 is not going to fly in Baton Rouge. If you are not making the playoffs year in, year out, competing for national championships, you're out the door. He was going to get a statue at Ole Miss. They were probably going to rename the stadium after him someday if he stayed at Ole Miss. And I just go back to the last point I made, which was he claims the reason he left is to go win championships. Dude, you're 3 games away with a team that can do it right now in Oxford. So if I were you guys, I'd be livid. Very mature out of Connor. The last question on Ole Miss before we get into playoff talk that I want to know is, again, my outside perspective. When I look at, obviously Lane Kiffin's the X's and O's guy. He's putting the offense together. It's a high-flying offense. But what you guys have been able to do in the transfer portal, what you guys have been able to do on the recruiting trail, seems to not really be so much Lane, but more Pete Golding. I mean, he seems to be your dog of a recruiter. So I want to go, and we're going to go kind of reverse clockwise here. We're going to start with Connor. Confidence level in this team being able to sustain that success under Pete Golding.
I'm optimistic, but, I think Pete is the guy that'll go out there and say, hey, come to this, and he's good at getting that out of people, but what they're coming to is Lane, if that makes sense. So now he's saying, come to me, which I don't know if that's necessarily going to work as well, because not necessarily because he's a worse coach, because he doesn't have the name, he doesn't have the resume, he doesn't have the past experience, whether that's positive or negative. And so I think that could benefit him, though, as well. People see a up-and-coming, I would say, program who are looking to win the national championship. It's going to be a fresh new start next year. And so who wouldn't want to come in and fight for a spot when they know the guy who is handpicking the roster, who already has next year's roster picked out, is gone?
Sure. Tyler.
Okay, I cut out a little, so I missed the end of the question. But I think you were mentioning more of like Pete Golding and him being the guy, like transfer-wise.
Confidence level in Pete in sustaining the success.
Yeah, so I think it kind of just comes with it's so I think and correct me if I'm wrong. They said he's going to be the coach next year. Is that true, or is it, yeah?
They didn't give him an
so,
interim label. They gave him the head coach label.
right, and so that alone, I think, is a big start. Like, I think it was like very quick turnaround for Ole Miss, even just to do the interim part. Like, just so you're like, hey, we got the playoffs coming up. But I think that he's going to be there next year, and who knows how it turns out. But I am confident in the fact that he's a guy that's been with Ole Miss and clearly wants to be in Oxford, wants to stay in Oxford, and wants that program to stay on its feet when who knows what could happen losing Lane. And I guess we've seen a few decommits to, LSU here and there, but recruiting wise and confidence wise, I think it's still there. I think we can still recruit in the transfer portal. I think we can still do what we were doing on the high school track. Like, we were never a big high school recruiting team to begin with. So it's like, if you just give the guys some NIL money and go tell them to go get some guys in the portal, I don't see why you can't at least put together a roster that you're confident that can win, 9 games. Again, I don't think that we thought we were going to win 10 games this year, let alone 11. So it's and this goes back to your point about Lane and expectations. Lane could win 9 games. I mean, at some point, I think Oxford would get restless and be like, you got to make the playoffs, especially after this season. But I think, you put a team out there that you're confident can win 9 games, I think the fan base is happy. And then, there's upside that if you can win 9 games, that means you could probably win 10. Who knows? So I'm confident in him as long as, the AD's behind him, Keith Carter, and the rest of the organization, gives him the chance to spend the money. Because clearly he's gone and got guys in the portal. He's been good.
Yeah. By the way, I love your guys' AD, Keith Carter.
Yeah.
He's the best, dude. He's the best.
I love Keith Carter.
Yeah.
He's
Rob,
great.
what?
Confidence level, I'm not sure. As a head coach, we haven't seen it. No one's ever seen it. It's hard to fall in love with the guy instantly. I think in terms of getting players, obviously we know he can do that. The only thing that I love the guy. I've loved him since he came from Bama. Anyone that really has ever coached with Saban, it's like the Lions drafting Bama players. Just at least draft someone out of Bama until Terry Arnold came along. He sucks, but normally if you are around Nick Saban, it's not a bad bet. So I have always liked him. It'll be interesting to see him as a head coach. But what worries me a little bit is because of the rumors of Kiffin leaving, we got moved below Oregon in the rankings a couple weeks ago. And then he leaves, and then I think if we miss the playoff this year, we don't instantly hire Golden. I think a lot of that was because the rankings coming up, we needed to have a guy as head coach because there are rumors of us potentially, there were discussions of us getting knocked out of playoffs because you don't have a head coach. Look back at Jordan Travis, So I think it was a quick hire for that reason, and I hope it wasn't rushed. And I trust, everyone that made that decision. But, would he be the head coach if we weren't in the playoffs? Who knows? It was either him or probably Joe Judge. So that's the thing. It's not like they just pick some random dude. It's him or Joe Judge, I would think. But I trust the guy. I trust Keith. That's a big thing. It's a lot easier to trust Golding when Keith Carter is the guy to make things happen. So we'll see how he does as a head coach. Again, love Joe. Was Judge going to OC, by the way? Do we know that? Or are we just assuming that? Does anyone
Weiss
know?
is back
Charlie's
to call
going
For
back.
the
plays.
playoff. Yes,
Yeah.
but in terms of next year.
I have comments on that, by the way.
Well, I think that was for playoff ranking too. That's what Lane said. That was for ranking reasons. We brought
No,
up.
no.
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
Okay. Lane has already ruined his reputation, his image with anybody that surrounds himself with Ole Miss football, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, he still would like to have the majority of that roster that's eligible next year to come to LSU. Is he capable of doing that by himself right now? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So he's going to go hide away at LSU, and he's going to tell Charlie to go back, be the nice guy, coach the playoff, win everybody over, and then Charlie's going to bring them over to LSU.
You're so right.
And
Let me
So
pose this-
right.
Let me pose this to you. Pete Golding, I think he's going to grab defensive guys. So if we just go in the portal if we're going to lose these offensive guys, yes, obviously you want to bring back Lacey. Yes, you want to bring back Trinidad if you sign that waiver or whatever the case may be. But just go, as long as you have money, there will be talent that wants to come play. So it's just a matter of going to find more talent. It sucks. You don't want to lose them. But I don't think that it's like the end of the world losing some guys. Now you look at Lacey, 21 touchdowns. Yeah, I'm going to be pretty upset losing him. Like, of course. I don't think that is going to cause us to not be able to make a run next year. So I agree. I think Charlie's going to come poach, but I don't think it's the end of the world if that's the case. See ya, good riddance, after the playoffs. Let's go get someone to come in and be the offensive coordinator, and let's go get some dogs. I think you could be fine.
Yeah, I agree with you to an extent because last year's team, I will die on this hill. I think last year's team is better than this year's team.
Oh, yeah.
Without
doubt. Okay, my point is you're saying we had no expectation coming into the year, and that's because we didn't know who the starting 22 was going to be. And next year is going to be the same, especially now that a bunch of people are going to leave. So who's to say we don't win 11 games again next year?
True. Yep. Or 12.
Shit.
Or 15.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's just keep going.
Before, all right, we're going to get in college football playoff. I want to close it out with one comment, though, and hopefully make you guys feel better if you need it. But college football completely changed. Do coaches matter? Yes. Do they matter as much as they did 10 years ago? No. Look at Joey McGuire at Texas Tech. Would anybody say Joey McGuire is like a top 25 coach in college football? No. But they spent $40 million damn near on their roster, and they're the 4 seed right now. Ole Miss has money. They put money into NIL. I think you guys are going to be just fine. I think your program's going to stay at the top of the SEC for years to come. So that's an outsider's perspective. But now we got to get to the tough conversation here.
Call me asparagus.
And we got to talk about who's going to get those last couple spots in the college football playoffs. So let me kind of paint the picture here. And let's go through. Let's look at – I want to make sure we can agree on some things. So I'm going to run through. I want to make sure we can all agree on these are the teams that are locks to get into the playoffs, okay? The SEC champion and the loser of the SEC championship, Bama, Georgia, they're both getting in, no matter what happens on Saturday. Ohio State, Indiana, the winner and the loser of the Big Ten championship, they're both getting in. The Big 12 champ. Now, BYU wins that, things get a little dicey, right? But I think we all expect Texas Tech to win that game. They're 2 touchdown favorites. Group of 5 champ, highest ranked group of 5 champ, they have to get in. Now, this is where things get super crazy, is if Virginia wins and beats Duke, then it's probably Virginia. If Duke wins, then it's probably a second group of 5 champion. So one of those two get in, right? Either Virginia or a second group of 5 champion. Now, getting out of the champions and the people who win the championship games, you've got Texas A&M, you've got Oregon, you got Ole Miss, and you have Oklahoma. They're locks. They're in the playoffs. Guys, that's 11 teams. There is 1 spot left. So we're going to do rapid fire. You're not going to explain why yet. I want to go around. Who's your last team in? Notre Dame, BYU, Miami, Texas, or Vanderbilt? Rebelette, you first.
Miami.
1 word. Tyler.
Miami.
Notre Dame.
Connor.
Aren't they in right now?
The team that beat Notre Dame. You.
Now, hold on. I don't like the rapid fire. Control the conversation here, but I don't like the rapid fire.
We're gonna get into it. I just want to set the table, see where everyone's at. So we got 3 people that say the U, because I'm also the U. I'm also saying Miami, and we're gonna get into some conversation because I think that's what it comes down to. I think it's fair to say BYU is gonna lose. They're not in. Texas, you can't lose 3 games, get in the playoffs. You lost to Florida. It happened to you guys last year. You can't lose to Florida and expect to get in. And then Vandy, really cool story. But really cool story, Vandy. Shout out Diego Pavia. I think he's my age. Just go sell cars. So it's a 2-team race. It's Notre Dame, Miami. Before we give our case for Miami, I do want to say Notre Dame is more than likely getting in. Notre Dame is ahead of Miami in the rankings. Neither teams play this weekend. How do you expect Miami to jump?
That was
Notre
my
Dame?
answer. That was why I answered that.
So I wanted to start with do you personally think that Notre Dame should get in over Miami?
Okay, yeah, let me rephrase because I totally thought the question was more who's going to get in.
If you're on the committee, who gets in?
Oh, if I'm on the committee, I mean, I think you. I'm not saying that they've ruined college football with this decision, but I think that they play the games they played each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
They played each other. I don't care when. I don't care if it was week 1 and it was week 1, correct? I mean, I want to make sure my facts are right here. They played week 1. I don't care that it was 15 weeks ago or 14 weeks ago or however long they played. Like they decide that was right. I mean, the decision is right there. Now, I mean. I don't think they're ruining the sport by not. They have their reasons, whatever. But I do agree that Miami deserves to be there if I'm on the committee. They played. That's where I would go with my decision. I think it's pretty simple.
Okay, so this
I
is
can
great.
agree. I'll agree.
We're all on the same page then. I thought we were going to go at each other. I thought we were going to go at each other here. We're actually all on the same page, which is fantastic. I'm with you, guys. Games have to mean something. Let's look at the NFL playoffs, right? If the let's go back a couple years ago, all right, where the Lions were 1-6, finished the season 9-8, and they are sitting there at a tiebreaker to try to get into the 7th seed, into the playoffs. They don't get in because week 2 they lost to the Seahawks, and the Seahawks beat them head to head. Also, were 9-8. At that point in the season, if you had a bunch of dudes sitting in a room deciding, who's the better NFL team, who should get into the playoffs, the Lions would have been picked. They were the better team at that point in time. But the games have to matter. You have the same record. You have a ton of common opponents. Miami has a larger margin of victory against the common opponents. Notre Dame, name a good win. What's Notre Dame's best?
Their best is USC.
USC,
okay, but
not that impressive.
USC was not regarded as a good team at the time.
No.
I would argue that their best win is at Pitt. But you also have to keep in mind that that's it. And the fact that I know they're dabbling with the ACC now, but they handpick this easy schedule. And I'm tired of this. I'm about to rant. Every single year, there is a spot dedicated for Notre Dame, no matter what. And it is absurd because they play no one and they just get to cakewalk in easily, I might add. There's never an argument from the committee. They're just placed in. When you take Miami, like we all said, for example, if you take strength of schedule, record, what's the next one? Head to head. Why is Notre Dame in the playoff? It's ridiculous. The whole system needs to be blown up.
Totally agree.
Would you say
first of all, join the conference? That's the very first thing. This is ridiculous. They can do what they're doing already. That's the very first thing.
Well, they did.
Well, exactly. They need to be forced to. I totally agree. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they're not forced to. Strength of schedule doesn't matter. And like I said, the committee just leaves a spot open for them. So what's the rush?
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, there should be a rush. They need to be.
And you can play. Join a conference and you can play Indiana School for the Blind and Deaf in week 11.
Yeah,
right.
You still can get those cupcakes.
Yeah,
you're right. That was an SEC trip, guys. You don't let him do that to you. He's a Big Ten guy. You can't let him throw in the non-conferences week 11.
If we need to go there, I mean, I'm not sure that the Big Ten's playing that tough a schedule.
Yeah, you guys play Rutgers. That's a bye. Northwestern.
It just so happens that the Big Ten, their conference isn't exactly a tough year.
No, it's fair. We don't need to go there.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right, Connor. That is totally.
No, I totally agree, and I thought,
and especially at 10-2, they can have their schedule. You have to go at least 11-1. You can't go 10-2 with that.
And I will add, the committee did very clearly state that it is not impossible, and it very possible for a team idling this week to move up in the rankings.
Yep,
Move up.
that's why I said Miami.
If that happens, then like
The system's
I don't
broken.
know. Right. I mean, you have two teams not playing, and they're like, "Yeah, we changed. Last week we felt Notre Dame, but this week we feel Miami."
Well,
that would
here's
be
the
insane.
thing
It
where
would
it
be the
gets
right
weird.
thing to do.
That happened.
No, here's where it gets weird is when BYU loses, you're going to have Notre Dame and Miami side by side in the rankings. On the brink of one's in, one's out, and they're going to be next door to each other. So you're telling me there's not BYU between them where it's like, whatever. They're going to be side by side, and they're still going to pick Notre Dame over Miami. I mean, it's as clear cut
Where's
as
the
it gets.
logic?
It doesn't make sense. It's as clear cut. They play each other. There's one in, one out. They're by each other in the rankings, and they're going to pick the one who lost.
It's who will watch these games, what will bring in the viewers. We've heard this a thousand times before. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Right.
It's awful.
Notre Dame has the fan base it's almost the fan base that gets them in. That has that spot that Connor was saying.
That's exactly right.
They hold for them. It's because
national
of
brand. It's a huge
everyone's
brand.
a Notre Dame fan across the country. Not really, but a bunch of people are. We all hate them, right? We're sitting here hating them, but like
we'll watch that game. We'll watch the hell out of that game.
We're like, oh yeah, we're Notre Dame fans. Like we're Catholic. Like we're Notre Dame fans. Like if you don't have a college, like you're a Notre Dame fan. I feel like, and you're Catholic. Like I don't know. Maybe that's just a crazy take, but I feel like they just have a fan base that brings in viewers.
All right, let me play devil's advocate for a second here. All right, we're gonna have a little bit of fun. Ole Miss is the 6th seed, and let's say you have your choice: Miami at home or Notre Dame at home.
Miami.
Who would you rather
Notre Dame's
play?
the top 3 team in this country.
I mean Carson Beck seeing ghosts in Oxford.
Yeah, I agree. Notre Dame's good. There's no other way to put it. They're good now. They were bad early on.
Jeremiah Love.
Notre Dame's good.
I don't know how hurt he is. He got hurt, I think, but I don't care. I don't want to play 75% Jeremiah Love.
I don't want to see those fans in my town.
Don't show me Notre Dame.
I'm going to lose my mind on them.
Yeah,
and that's what I was getting at. Is funny as it's funny because we're all so passionate about Miami should be the team to get in, but then you take a step back and you're like, well, who do you think's the better team? Who right now? Who would you rather
Notre
play?
Dame, I agree.
Yeah.
You're right, but
no, I agree. I would like to see Miami
situation.
in because the games have to mean something. You just saw it, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw Alabama made some changes to their out of conference schedules in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're gonna just start seeing cupcakes. You're gonna see these teams if it doesn't matter, if beating a team doesn't matter, or losing a game in the beginning of the season doesn't matter. It just comes down to what's your record and how do you look and what are the style points. You're not gonna see any fun non-con games anymore, and we're headed there.
Yep,
it's frustrating.
Well, like the Texas Ohio State, you can kiss that goodbye.
That will never happen
for sure.
And my biggest thing on why strength of schedule doesn't matter is I will die on the hill that Ole Miss would beat Texas Tech by 50 points. They are not a good football team. They have a linebacker. Awesome. What are you going to do? Like, cool, man. Awesome. You mentioned the Texas Tech coach's head coach like 5 minutes ago. I didn't know his name. I didn't know if you would have said his name, I would not have been able to tell you that's the Texas Tech head coach. Like, I'm so fed up with the Texas Tech. You know what? Give them the first round bye. Let them sit. It's like baseball. You want the wild card. You don't want to go rest. Let them go.
And they're not going to be at home.
Let them linger in their oil. I'm excited to see them get absolutely stomped the first game they play in the playoff.
I like that.
Because it will be BYU by probably 25.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're looking at BYU. Well, you're looking at BYU, and they probably definitely shouldn't be in. But 2 losses, it's to the same opponent.
Yeah.
Right, they beat everyone else.
And you're going to penalize them for making a conference championship game.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like all these other teams get to sit at home, and they're going to add another loss to the record. So, all right, this is a good combo. I thought this was going to get off the rails. I thought we were definitely going to have some Notre Dame defenders on here. I'm glad we're all on the same page here. And this was good. This was civil. It's time to get to the main event, though, where I don't know if this is going to be civil or not. We're going to see, but we're going to get into the Thursday night game, the big-time game. And you already know I've got a very special thing to kick us off with here.
This isn't a matchup. It's a reckoning. The Detroit Lions, the Dallas Cowboys, both standing on the edge of everything they've worked for. Dallas is rolling, wins piling up, belief restored, momentum finally on their side. Every week has been a step back into the playoff race, but momentum means nothing if it dies here. Detroit is bleeding at the worst time. A team built to dominate, now forced to answer hard questions. The margin for error is gone. The standard hasn't changed, only the pressure has. This game decides who stays alive. This game decides who starts fading out. For Dallas, it's proved the run is real. For Detroit, it's proved the fall stops now. No narratives, no excuses, no tomorrow for the team that blinks, just 60 minutes where seasons are either rescued or erased.
Guys, this is as close to a playoff game as you could possibly get at this point in the season. And I want to read a quick stat for everybody before we get into this game breakdown. And I want to read playoff odds, chances to make the playoffs with a win versus a loss this week. The Lions, 57% with a win. They go all the way down to 23% with a loss. The Cowboys, 35% with a win. They go all the way down to 8% with a loss. So about as big of a regular season matchup as you can get. It's on a Thursday night. But both teams coming off a full week of rest. They both played on Thanksgiving, so not a short week for either team. Ty and I are going to quickly break down the Detroit side of this game. And then we're going to roll it over to you guys to give us just an update on where the Cowboys stand, what's the injury report look like, anything that we should be keeping an eye on. And we're going to have a little healthy debate on how we think this game goes. So, again, it's 7-5 Lions versus the 6-5-1 Cowboys. Cowboys have the number 1 total offense in the NFL. The Lions have the number 3 total offense in the NFL. And we already talked about the stakes. Now, setting the stage for the Lions. Who's not playing? I think the better question is who is playing. You have so many injuries are decimating this team. Kirby Joseph out again. Terrion Arnold ruled out for the rest of the season, by the way, so we won't see Terrion again. The entire offensive line for the Lions listed as questionable outside of Tate Ratledge. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, don't expect him to play. I mean, he's listed as questionable. They're saying game time decision. I don't expect him to play. Ty, why don't you just kind of set the stage? What have we been seeing out of this Lions team over the last couple weeks, and what should these fellas expect on Thursday night?
Oh, God. You guys can expect to score 49 points, let's say. Just 7 even touchdowns. I don't know what there is positive to say about the Lions. With no Amon-Ra, who's going to hand it off to Jahmyr Gibbs every play? That's about it. I mean, I don't know. Get Isaac Tesla involved against George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. What are we talking about? There's no reason we should win this game. I think we do. There is not a single reason we should be close in this game. They have everything better. Our defense sucks. Theirs is somehow better, I think. I don't even know. They're both the worst in the world. Their offense is the best I've ever seen in my life. We're washed up. We're hurt. We're just not that good anymore. That's where I stand. I think we win, though, by 11.
I love the confidence, and I will save my thoughts for a second. I want to throw it over Tyler and Connor. Let's preview the Cowboys side. Do you guys know any massive injuries we should know about? How the Cowboys been playing? What should we expect out of the boys tomorrow night?
I can go ahead and give you a quick injury update. Nothing really pressing on the questionable side of things. Trayvon Diggs was supposed to come back this week. Honestly, kind of glad he's not. And we will be relying on our rookie, Siobhan Ravel, who we got back last week off IR, who has impressed me so far. like I said, small sample size, so we'll see there. Biggest loss, I will say, will be left tackle Tyler Guyton is out, rookie out of Oklahoma.
He was out
Second
last
year
week.
at Oklahoma? Second year at Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Yeah, second year. He will be out, but that's only one of 5 on that front line. And I have a quick stat for you that I saw earlier today in regards to that front line. That Dak has only been sacked twice in the last 3 games. Okay? None against the Chiefs. And then I saw on the flip side, you guys have only recorded 2 sacks in the last 3 weeks.
You got me. I got the same stat.
So you're telling me I'm a Dak defender till the day I die. But that guy was an MVP candidate in his last full healthy season in 2023. Got banged up in 2024, only played 5 games. And then you can argue this year that he's top 5 in MVP conversation. So I'll kick it over to Tyler. Tyler, tell me why Dak won't put up 600 points tomorrow night and why we won't cover by 4 times the spread.
All right, I'll tell you why, because I'm negative, but I actually do agree. And I was gonna say we got to come on this podcast more often because Connor and I lived together for 2 years, and we didn't do a whole lot of agreeing. 3 years, we didn't do a whole lot of agreeing, and here we are agreeing on quite a bit. College football, whatever. I had the same stat pulled up with the sacks. On the flip side, it looks like Goff has been sacked 3 or more times in 4 of the last 6 games for the Lions. So you look at our defensive line. If we can get in the backfield, we got our defense. They gave up 28 points to the Chiefs, but they've looked obviously much better since the trades have been made. So I'm confident. I do agree. I think that we, offensively are going to do well. I think the Lions secondary has not shown much life, especially last week with against Love, and I just think that Dak does throw it all over the place. I think he does, and but the problem is I don't know how this game goes because it's so easy to look at, and I'm a betting man, like I'm sure most of you are, looking at all the lines. Yeah, okay, so. I don't see why we shouldn't take every single player's anytime touchdown on the Cowboys. I mean, that's not even a shot. But looking at it, it's I know how betting goes. If I click those buttons, they're not going to. They're not going to score all these touchdowns. And I seriously I think you do just gotta you just gotta expect it to be a shootout. But at the same time, it could be a tightly contested game. Like your 28-24 final, going either way. So
it will be.
That's what I think. You could easily say, oh well, we're going to score 49 points, and I agree. My confidence says, yeah, there's no reason we shouldn't score 56 points, but I most likely see it being 28-24, and I am going to say Cowboys, but that's where I'm at with final score and how it's going to go. I think it's going to be a tightly contested game. One side's not going to be overpowering the other, too much. I mean, the offense is going to do well, but that's where I'm at.
If I could add one thing onto that, the Cowboys have been terrible on the road this year, just awful. And this is our first road game since the Raiders, which until about halftime or midway through the second quarter was a close game for no reason at all. So, you guys say you have the number 3 offense in the NFL. We have been the bottom 5-3, maybe even defense through the majority of the season. But as of the game against Philadelphia, that's when Quinnen Williams came in. That's when Logan Wilson came in. That rookie corner was on IR that I would mention, Siobhan Ravel. We got him back. DeMarvion Overshone, got him back, who was a beast last year for us. So it's kind of a revamped look. It is bits and pieces of the same thing, but with much better pieces in there. So I'm very, very curious to see the matchup. The Cowboys on the road with one of the better offenses we've played and honestly all season. So it'll be interesting.
All right. I'm going to paint a picture here. I'm going to be a little negative for a second. I'm going to talk about why I think that where the Lions get into a little bit of trouble. And that is protecting Jared Goff. The interior of this Lions offensive line, if you guys haven't watched a whole lot of Lions football, it's garbage. It's atrocious. They might have the best two tackles on one team in the NFL in Taylor Decker and Penei Sewell, but the interior is atrocious. You got Quinn Williams, Kenny Clark in the middle for the Cowboys. And then obviously Dak throwing to Pickens and Lamb against, we like to call them the Legion of Whom in Detroit. We don't even know the names of these players. Like, I'm not kidding. There's going to be a new name that we see out on the field tomorrow night, and we do not know this guy. He just came off of his couch. So obviously there's some negatives there. But here's where this is what I think is the pathway to victory for the Lions. This just feels like this is one of those Dan Campbell backs against the wall type games. You're at home. It's in prime time. You have to have it. Fun stat for you guys, if you don't know, we like to talk about a lot here in Detroit, is a Dan Campbell-led team has not lost 2 straight games since the beginning of the 2022 season. They bounce back. They know how to bounce back off of losses. We have not seen 2 straight losses since the beginning of the 2022 season. And no Amon-Ra obviously scares me. But one thing I noticed in that Packers game, one of the issues with this Lions offense all year has been a lot of trying to force the ball to Gibbs and Amon-Ra, not really letting the offense come to you, not letting the play come to you, not making your right reads. It's okay. I'm trying to force to Amon-Ra. I'm trying to force to Gibbs. Somehow, some way, Amon-Ra leaves that game, and all of a sudden the passing game opens up. We saw like somewhat of an efficient passing game. Waymo had a huge game. I expect him to have a massive game tomorrow night, by the way, against this secondary. RFK Jr., Tom Kennedy, comes out of nowhere making huge plays. We see an Isaac Tesla touchdown. I think the pathway to victory here, you guys are talking Dak up, and you're talking about a top 5 MVP candidate, and I agree with you. He's been playing fantastic this year. But I know in the back of both of your minds, you're waiting for that patented 3 INT game. And I think tomorrow might be the night. That might be the pathway to victory for the Lions. Is a couple.
I agree. I think tomorrow the Cowboys play like the Cowboys tomorrow. I think the Cowboys are the Cowboys again. They return back to who they are.
If this game ends up like our playoff game against the Packers, I am doing everything in my power to get this podcast canceled.
Yeah, this isn't getting posted.
I just have a feeling you guys are playing too good. You guys beat the Chiefs and the Eagles. Like, all right, enough.
Just give us the Super Bowl.
No.
Yeah, might as well.
I think tomorrow's
going to be
it should be, honest to God, it's such a fun game. It is almost the perfect matchup. It should be so fun to watch tomorrow's game.
This could be game of the year in the NFL with what's at stake in the offenses.
Like our sophomore year at Ole Miss against Arkansas, 52-51. That game was insane.
Those vibes.
That could happen tomorrow.
I like that.
Fun fact, I was on ESPN that day, that game. I was that one guy that they got on camera going.
I'm going to go back and fact check that, and we're going to throw a snippet up on the screen here.
I'll send you a snippet. I got a snippet, yeah.
We need that for the thumbnail.
Yeah.
So, all right.
But I'm stoked for
final score predictions. Let's go around. And I want to start with the Cowboy fans. Final score predictions. Tyler,
you heard mine. I said 28-24 Cowboys. I'm sticking to that. I don't think we're getting the 50 points. I think we're getting the tight game. Defenses step up here and there. Dak throws a late one to George Pickens and
to Brian Branch,
and puts the dagger in y'all's hearts. So that's my prediction. We're gonna come back to it, and hopefully I'm right.
Connor.
I will go with 31-24 Cowboys.
Rebel
I think it's going to be an offensive shit show to say in the first quarter, And then this is a bold prediction. Fourth quarter, we're just going to have like 30 points.
Okay, so 1 in the first quarter?
Yeah.
That would be electric. Electric.
We get a 1-point safety in the first quarter?
I got 30,
No.
34. Oh,
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Tyler, we as in the Lions and the Cowboys combined.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I'm saying Detroit Lions 34, Dallas Cowboys 31.
Detroit Lions
I respect it,
34. 34.
Oh,
Dallas Cowboys 24. This game will come down to fourth down. Both teams love to go for it on fourth down. At a certain point, something's got to give. The Lions are 1 for 1,000,000 on fourth downs in the last 5 games. At a certain point, something's got to give. The Lions get their fourth down conversions. The Cowboys don't. I'm going to go 34-24. The Detroit Lions take the victory.
love it. I love it.
No bias here from anyone.
I will say though,
I love it.
I'm with you. I'm with you on the fourth down front. There's a very popular radio station that I listen to, Dallas sports radio station called The Ticket. They were talking about Dan Campbell today. They had him on actually in July, and if Dan Campbell is going to be Dan Campbell tomorrow, he is going to throw the kitchen sink because this game. This is life or death at this point in the season for both teams. So I will disagree with you on the fact I think Amon-Ra does play because I think what's the point in holding him out if you lose and you have a 9% chance to make the playoffs? You want to control your own destiny. You don't want to go root for the Bears to lose or the Packers to lose or whoever. And I just think it's going to catch up. I think the underestimation of our defense will catch up. I think Gibbs is going to go for 300 yards, and I think Montgomery is going to go for -30.
Okay.
I'll agree on that.
He's a power back, and you can tell him that I said that.
I agree with that point, by the way. That Monty, we won't get into the conversation. I don't think Monty's a Lion next year. He has not done a whole lot for the team this season. But Gibbs is I think it's tough to argue Gibbs not being the best back in the league at this point in the season.
For sure.
So, but no, I know I brought that point up. I really do. I think this game's going to come down to fourth downs. That's how the Lions games have gone the last few weeks, and they've been on the losing end of a lot of these, but they don't convert on fourth down, and their opponents do. And I just think that's so unlike these Detroit Lions, these Dane Campbell Detroit Lion teams. At a certain point, something's got to give. Backs against the wall. Connor, I hope that you are right. I really hope Amon-Ra is on the field because it'll change my opinion of the game. Oh yeah, we both got the Amon-Ra jerseys on. So
that's my sister's jersey, by the way. He's wearing it's not even his. It's my sister's.
Chill. They don't even know that, dude.
Cut it out.
The wife told me she wanted a Lions jersey. I was like, all right, I'll buy you one. And I bought the black Amon-Ra because I've been wanting one for a while.
You can't see it. If you stood up,
it's not. It is a men's jersey. I promise. But, all right. Closing, I will let you guys give the closing statements because that's what we do for the guests on the pod. Just some closing statements going in the game tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll take it. I appreciate you guys having us on. This was a fun little debate. I mean, we didn't let it get too heated. I think a lot of us agreed with a lot of the takes, which is good. I think it's going to be a good game tomorrow. And I mean, there's not really a ton of hate between these two teams. I'm pretty sure you guys are upset about last year, or how many was that? 2 years ago.
2 years ago. You better be upset about last year.
We lost by 50 last year.
I think more hate
That was awesome, dude.
in the terms of like over history, I think maybe recently, so maybe it's just going to add to the recent history, and it'll be just a great game. So that's where my head's at.
No, yeah, like Tyler said, I appreciate you guys having us on. I hope to be a guest in the future again. But I will disagree with Tyler in the fact that it was great that there was no drama. I am furious that we agreed on everything. And we're gonna have to come back to argue because
we're gonna yell at each other next time. We were just getting
I
comfortable,
promise
right?
if you were a fly on the wall in our dorm room or in our house at Ole Miss,
That's what I
there's
said.
some screaming about some not so important stuff. So it gets
exactly how
there,
it
and
went.
I hope it does for the entertainment value. But like I said, appreciate it and go Cowboys.
All right.
Love it.
I appreciate you guys coming on. It was a ton of fun. You guys will absolutely be back on the podcast unless somehow the Cowboys
Unless
win
you
tomorrow.
aren't
Then
here tomorrow.
Then you're not. But with a Lions victory, we got to get you guys back on. We got to cover Ole Miss throughout the playoffs. Maybe in a couple weeks or next week when the final rankings drop, and we'll talk about the Lions victory hopefully. And but yeah, no, I appreciate you guys coming on. It was a good time. Go Lions. Big game tomorrow.
We are Charlie Kirk, we carry the flame.